Hello and welcome back to the Amateur Shittalkers. Matt Whitfield, Ben Rask joining you today with just
Sup,
us.
peoples. Yep, just us. Just a nice, I could put my legs up on the couch if I want to, but...
Hey, we can relax. It's good.
Yeah.
I like just being able to chat to you every now and then rather than having to cover someone else's story.
Talk a bit of shit.
But we figured today, episode 21, also known as if 9 plus 10.
True.
Yeah. Sorry, that's horrible. But we get to talk a bit about ourselves today, as we don't usually get to on the podcast, and a lot of the time we don't. Well, people don't really know what's happening with us.
Last time this happened, it was
Episode 10, or 8,
well,
maybe.
like we kind of talked about ourselves in one episode, and then we had the New Year's
episode as well. That was solo.
So.
But today, I don't know, it feels very relaxed, and I really enjoy the vibes around this episode.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm thinking, I'll do this episode. I'll have a bit of a nap.
Yeah, you're tired.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's all right. Ben's got to go to work after this.
But we hustle.
We hustle.
And this is something that we're going to talk about.
We will talk about hustling. But first, to start off our episode, we get to talk about the podcast. Just a couple of events. I just want to touch on it. If you want to go and learn a lot about the podcast and its history, then you can go to our pool episode, or our New Year's episode. It was filmed in a pool. That was pretty cool.
That was really sick.
Some events that's happened recently. Futuration Cabaret.
Some big
That was
events.
massive. So you guys may have saw on our Instagram and TikTok as well. We hosted a red carpet at Crown, which was sick. That's such just a cool thing to be able to say.
Yeah, it was great. Just being able to I think people thought that, even if it was like this, but they thought I was on the red carpet, not hosting it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, got
so
to
cool
host it all.
Yeah, so sick to do that. We've also had come up backstage banter, which is new. We're doing that
backstage banter.
BJ Community this year. We're running. We did some stuff with them last year on the media wall, interviewing artists. But now we get to do backstage banter. It's what it's called, and we have our own section in the venue, and we interview people and what they're doing and what they're up to, and get to have some fun with that as well.
Yeah, get some feedback, get some insights to their musical career, their singing careers, and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty intriguing being able to sit there with me leg up on my knee and just
looking
have
a bit fancy.
Talk a bit of shit.
Well, not even talk a bit of shit. We get to ask shit.
Ask
we
shit.
do all the shit talking. We do all the shit talking here. What's coming up in the future? We might be heading over to Adelaide.
Yep.
That's in the talks at the minute. It might not happen, might happen. I don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys
we won't
yet.
spoil anything, but just, some people might come up in the hustle culture topic that we have coming up.
Possibly. How about us individually, Ben? What's been happening in your life? You got any cool things coming up? Ben's turned 18. I'm going to give him that head start into his life.
Yeah. No, I've turned 18, so, I can do everything legally now.
You can drive me around?
I can drive legally, but still illegally. I'm kidding, guys. Wouldn't do any...
No illegal business happening?
Yeah, illegal business. None of that stuff. But, I get to go make easy money now, and... I'm kidding, we don't support gambling on this podcast.
Oh, I didn't even realise you were talking about gambling.
Yeah. I wouldn't be because we don't support gambling.
Okay,
but
we don't support gambling.
But we get to drive Matt and I around, so we're it's kind of Matt and I's car, and everyone else is really I'm just Dezo. So
well, Ben's the first person sort of in the friend group to get his license, or one of the first people.
Yeah.
So it's sort of good
and
having him
I've got the
drive me
fastest
around.
car. So.
Man, you're really tired today. I'm going to cut most of that part out.
How? My dog.
What else is happening individually? Is that all that's really happened with you turning 18?
Yeah, I'm keen to, I love school and I love being at school and talking to everyone at school, but I'm keen to kind of set it aside and get it over and done with. And
finish year 12.
Finish year 12 and get all that stuff to the side so I can start really pushing to get some stuff out there and, try and you'll see an upgrade with the podcast, I assume.
Yes, you will. We've got some changes coming up in the future, majorly, including this space. And
No, we'll never leave this space.
Well, yeah, no, we will never leave this space. We definitely don't have a new studio coming soon.
Maybe.
No. What's been happening with me? School captain. I delivered a speech this morning to the whole school assembly.
Yep.
Yeah, a bit of public speaking, taking on some learning leadership skills, like actually how to like delegate and stuff like that, because it's actually a lot more of a role than I thought you've got to do. There's actually quite a bit of work to it. Yeah, just getting through year 12. What else got coming up? I'm going on away for a week on Wednesday. That's why we're smashing this out on the Monday. And I do like another thing with the podcast, a bit behind the scenes. We've started filming a lot closer to dates that we release on, sort of, so that what we're talking about is a lot more relevant. That's the word I'm looking for. Yep. So we hope you guys can sort of notice it in things we'll be talking about later on as well. It's more involving for a viewer, or at least we hope so. You guys can let us know, leave a comment or anything. Let us know, like, if you think that works well, give some feedback. We're always happy to hear it. Yep. But yeah, so we've been, I guess the podcast work is a bit more frequent now that we film every 2 weeks rather than film a lot 1 week and then have it backed up, sort of thing.
Yeah, so hopefully, the Swifty stuff that we'll mention later in the episode will still be relevant, but I'm sure it will still be of relevance.
Absolutely sure it will be. But something that I was actually sitting at school literally just before, like an hour or two ago, and we came up with a segment for this episode, and it's talking about hustle culture. Now, this is something that
love to see it.
Sean Lazarus, he was doing some research on, and I thought, hey, this is something really sick. Let's talk about it on the pod now.
Shout out, Sean.
Shout out, Sean. Thank you, man. But hustle culture, for anyone who doesn't know it, it's basically the culture of work, and the like entrepreneurial sort of stuff. Mainly, is what we'll be focusing on, and especially how it's like how it's affecting young males, especially because that's like us. This is something that is very relevant to us because we're
hustling to get this episode done now.
We're hustling, working with the podcast and stuff like that. And I've got a few sort of just like base questions here, but one of them is just how has it affected teenagers today? And I feel like it's massively done it through social media, like whether it's positive or negative, but hustle culture comes through social media because even us talking about it right now,
there's pages dedicated to it, like there's different
exactly
always on TikTok you'll see one of those like montage videos and all that talking about hustle
and it's all that sort of like motivation stuff. And so we're going to tailor this sort of towards teenagers, especially like teenage boys, because we're teenage boys.
Questionable.
But how do you think, like, say if you weren't doing the podcast, right, and you were just your basic 18-year-old kid, do you find that when you're scrolling through TikTok that those like videos that come up, pushing you to like work, be the person that for your future self and stuff like that, but like chase the dreams that you want? It sounds like it's pretty standard, but there's a niche to it.
Yeah,
and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Would you find that'd impact you positively, or do you find that it could also impact you negatively on your own life and like mental health and stuff like that, like in terms of all aspects of your life?
I feel like it would. I guess it depends who you are, but like for me, I'd kind of start really realizing like, fuck, maybe I should try and push a little bit harder to succeed and do what I want to do. But then like obviously there is a negative impact to it, like you're kind of beating yourself up about it. So
I guess it sort of comes with what is success? What makes someone successful?
Yeah.
Because that's open to opinion for everyone. Like I might find success by money, or you might find success by followers, or someone might find success by how much they enjoy what they're doing, sort of
happiness.
Thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like it's subjective. Is that the word? Subjective?
Yeah.
Subjective to like different people. You can correct me if I'm wrong again. Leave a comment.
That's right.
Another thing I wanted to talk about, like we talk about how it can be negatively impactful and positively impactful, how it can be negatively portrayed through social media. Now, there's sort of, I'm not going to name names of people out on social media that have possibly spread this negatively and have negative impacts on masculinity and stuff like that. But there's definitely people out there that push a certain way of life rather than trying to motivate someone to get it's pushing them in the direction of a life they think someone else should live, rather than pushing someone in a direction to live the life that they want to live.
Yeah, some don't catered to the fact that there's different people and different
100%.
lifestyles and everything, but they just say, you know, what I'm doing is right and you should do what I do because...
Yeah, exactly right. But with us, I feel like we've at least taken it the way that we strived, and we sort of try and radiate this around anyone else around us. Strive to live the life that you want to live, not the life that someone else wants you to live.
Yeah.
Like if you've got your own dream, like say for us, we want to do this podcast, we're striving to do this podcast. You know, just because, you know, well, in other cases, you know, mum and dad might want you to be a doctor, but you don't want to be a doctor, you want to be an artist. So you're going to go and chase the life of being an artist, you know? Like it's the sort of thing like with how someone can negatively be impacted through how like hustle culture is portrayed in social media can push them to not necessarily live the life that they want to live, but almost be like mind boggled to living someone else's dream rather than living your own dream.
Yeah, 100%.
But I feel like a way, like we've spoken negatively about it, I want to talk about some like positive role models that are out there, at least definitely for us. Like these are sort of young males who have taken an entrepreneurial approach to chasing the dream that they want, and some of them are like just sick. Like they're so inspiring to look up to now. Like one of them, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Alex Barriat, Barriat, I think it is. Yeah. But he is the owner and creator of Be Real. Now everyone knows Be Real. Everyone knows the app. It was massive. I think it was 2022.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, I still know a few people that
still use it.
Yeah, still participate in Be Real. I'm like, jeez, like, how can you keep that going? Like, good on you for that. Like,
for people who don't know, Be Real is basically an app, and once a day at any random time, it'll send you a notification saying time to be real, and it basically takes a photo of from your front camera and back camera at the same time to see what you're doing. So it's basically saying like, let's be real, and everyone show you what you're actually doing, sort of thing. It's cool. It's a sick idea.
Yeah.
Because you can't really a lot of people on the internet fake what they're doing to make themselves seem cooler.
Mm.
And being real gives you an outlet to actually be real. But this guy anyway, he was just a young bloke that knew how to, well, basically create an app.
Yeah.
And he created this app on his own, like just as a side. I think it was actually a uni project. I believe that's the story.
Yeah.
Not 100% no. And it went viral. It went viral on TikTok, and he won. I think it got App of the Year in 2022.
I believe it did. Yeah.
Mental.
If not top.
It won. It definitely won App of the Year. Whether it was 22, I'm sure it was 22, not 23.
Yeah.
But that's massive. So I remember reading about that story, being like, holy shit, he's doing that. And I was doing software development at the time in school, so it was fresh in my mind. Like, wow, this kid had an idea, pushed for it on his own, and did it and pulled it off.
And here's the hustler that also shows other hustlers, if that makes any sense, because like, you know, you could get time to be real at 1 in the afternoon, and it'll show like maybe someone might be on the job site hustling to make money for their dreams.
Exactly right.
But then someone could be in bed on their phone, and just shows the true hustlers out there. I mean, you can't, you know, doesn't hurt to be in bed and have a bit of rest every now and again. And obviously there's other factors that come into it, like mental health and everything. But yeah, like he kind of showed that, you know,
it almost gave someone a reason to get out of bed and go and do something.
Yeah, like especially I know a few times I wasn't being too honest. Like,
yeah, exactly. You fake it. You try and fake it to look like you actually are doing something when you're being real.
Yeah.
Another one to talk about is like, this is sick. A lot of you guys will know him from TikTok. The Tom Oswald, his name is, but you guys would know. You probably won't recognize the name, but the Homeboy Cafe. Yeah. Over in Harndorf, I believe it is, outside of Adelaide. So sick. So the story of this one, 18-year-old, bought a little cafe, opened a cafe on his own, runs it on his own. Like when there's no customers, he'll sit there on the iPad and he'll design stuff for his social medias and stuff like that. And like, you know, he'll be like day in the life of, like, he'll post TikTok videos, and he's massive now. And he's massive.
Yeah, and another thing there is like, you know, some people are out there pushing their like dreams and careers onto you. But sometimes, like, they're kind of just showing what it's like, and you wouldn't have ever thought maybe, like, I want to be I want to open a cafe until you saw that video and you're like, fuck, that's cool. Like, maybe I do want to do that.
Exactly right. Like, I love how these guys are pushing their stuff out positively. It's not telling someone you need to start a cafe.
Yeah.
But it's showing them their own journey.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to open someone's eyes and how social media can positively impact hustle culture.
Yeah.
Because these are like, in my opinions, like, especially Homeboy Cafe is just the best example of a healthy hustle culture.
Yeah.
Because it's cute.
And
18-year-old opening up a cafe.
Yeah,
Like,
and like hustling is almost an understatement for him. Like the way he entered the media and everything, like he was all over the news everywhere, and like every now and again he'll also do like there was donations through to him, and people would like give him tips or donations in order for him to be able to give free coffee to everyone for the rest of the day.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
And one last one I've got down here. His name's Davey Fogarty. And you guys, again, probably wouldn't know Davey Fogarty, but you would know the Oodie.
Mm-hmm.
This is another young bloke. He would have been early 20s at the time. Like maybe 21, I think he was, 22, when he invented the Oodie. And honestly, if you're listening to this right now, there's a good chance you're in an Oodie.
Yep.
Well,
hopefully not. They're pretty warm nights right now.
They are, yeah, true. Maybe in winter. It's basically a massive hoodie blanket.
Yeah.
Hence the Oodie. Oh, mate, that's a fantastic invention.
Yeah.
That got a lot of people through COVID.
I'm not sure if, like, was there already a blanket hoodie, but then he kind of just, like, you know, made it, like,
I don't think there was.
He pushed it out there on media and he added designs and, like, added all these different, you know,
I'm pretty sure he was the inventor of a mainstream blanket hoodie anyway. Whether or not he came up with the full idea of a blanket hoodie.
Yeah.
Or just came up with a brand that sells blanket hoodies.
Yeah.
Like, he's sick.
But realistically, like, probably if there was one already invented, then the hustle play would have been harder to make it.
Oh, 100%.
Something that people would buy over just a regular.
You know, why buy it from you?
Yeah.
And that's another part of how he positively showed how you can hustle and you can pull off your dreams. Like, oh, he's sick. I love his story. But I think another thing I wanted to talk about around us is people that are around us that are succeeding, that we can sort of like... I got 3 people down here, one group and 2 people that are like inspiring to us at the moment, because we've got plenty of friends in the media now that we've been around it. We've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, but these 3 people that we're really close to, and that we really support, and that have actually been killing it.
Yeah,
and
fuck.
One of them, massive in the last couple of months, Swim State. You guys would have heard us talk about Swim State before. Episode 1, Beau Farrell, the lead singer. Most of you guys who watch the podcast have watched episode 1. You'd know who Swim State is.
Yeah, and you'd probably know who Beau Farrell is too.
100%. Like, they've been doing a lot of shows in Melbourne recently, and they've been like, now that all the boys are out of high school, they've been pushing.
Yeah, and now they've got time to and everything as well. Exactly.
They're smashing it. They just played the SB Basement. They went and did a little like private festival in Queenscliff. Where else did they go?
Fuck everywhere.
They sold out the Workers Club.
Yeah. In
late December, they played Euroa Music Festival. Like, they played 3 sets of the Euroa Music Festival. Or no, maybe 2 sets. Sorry.
Yeah.
But they're sick. They're killing it. Their music is so good. Oh, holy shit! I get to hear some of like a lot of their unreleased stuff, or even because I go to their gigs a lot, I hear their originals. So fucking good. Some of the best music I've ever heard.
So big, like big festivals.
I really fucking hope so.
I'm gonna start pitching to festivals myself for them, and I'm not gonna tell them.
Oh mate, they're
so
good. They're so good.
But, nah.
Another one we've got down here is Lucas Ivkovic.
1 million followers on YouTube.
Sorry, 1 million subscribers on YouTube. 4.5 million on TikTok, and I think he's got, I don't know, I couldn't tell you Instagram.
Yeah.
But he's making good content and he's getting cool collaborations, and it's so cool to watch him succeed. He's taken it up full time.
Yeah.
You can also go and watch episode 4, Lucas and Mert. This is the Lucas in question. Lucas Ivkovic.
Yeah.
He's taken social media full time now. That's his platform.
And his hustle as well, like, must be crazy, because for him to be able to make so many videos, like with that one baby filter that he first like debuted his success on, that's crazy to me. Like,
it's very easy to run out of ideas on one topic.
Sometimes we struggle just after 20 episodes to think of another idea for the next one.
Exactly.
But him, crazy.
If you can keep going and smashing it. And one last thing that you would have heard us talk about him a lot. He's a big mentor for us, but Benny Greggs.
Yeah.
Futuration Cabaret, we were talking about just before we hosted the red carpet. He gave us that opportunity. That was his event. He sold out the Palms at Crown for Futuration Cabaret, the first edition.
And it's crazy because I remember him sitting right here on the couch with us, and he said the three words of advice were delete, delegate, and automate.
Yeah,
and he has put that into action.
Yeah, that's it. That if you go through any sort of like business thing that Benny Greggs has done, those 3 words are like they live within it.
Yeah.
Delete,
it's
delegate,
crazy.
automate.
Like this year as opposed to last year, like he's deleted so many things, delegated, he's made sure like the people who he wants to work with him are working with him, and has gotten rid of the refs, and like it's just crazy. Like he doesn't have to do as much anymore to be able to like he just does the things he wants to do now.
Because he had a dream.
Yep.
And he paved his own pathway to get there. Mm-hmm. And now he's living that dream, and I'm so proud of all those boys, and we all strive to be like people like this. Yep. We all strive to succeed. These guys, these 3 people, or Swim State is a group, but they're all very different. Well, not very different, but they're all different pathways.
Yeah.
They're all different dreams of people are having. And these are different people that have healthily gotten to those dreams. They're not breaking any rules. They're doing it properly.
That's it.
They're paving their own way. They're thinking about it. They're taking the time, and they're actually doing it.
And we've mentioned these ones, but like there's a
so
lot
many more.
Like I know Sozar, I think, like obviously he went to like, Africa and everything.
He just did a collaboration with the Sidemen, from Toby from the Sidemen.
Yeah, we've got Remy B. She picked up a mentorship with Byron.
Yeah, Byron. Yeah.
Cook from Kiss. Who else? So many. I can't even remember who we've done episodes with. I can't even name them all.
We know some stuff about like people that have got coming up in the future, but we can't name yet because
we can't. Released, but they'll be coming up in the future.
People are doing so well, and I think I'm just like proud to be able to say that I've been there along the way with them, and I want you guys to be like proud if you think we're succeeding and stuff like that. Like I want you guys to be able to like express that you actually do feel proud about someone else chasing their dreams.
Yeah.
Because that's another very healthy part about hustle culture. It's not only being proud when you chase your dreams, but being proud of other people doing the same thing.
Just getting past the jealousy.
Exactly right.
Just cutting away from the episode real quick, we thought we should remind you guys about our socials.
You can find us as Amateur Shit Talkers on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram.
And if you'd like to find them all in one place, hit the link in our Insta bio.
Taylor Swift. Massive. We spoke a lot about how it can influence young males, but mate, this is someone paving the way for independent women around the world. Like, absolutely massive. The fact that the title we have here is Economy Affected by Eras Tour. If your tour can affect a country's economy, that is fucking mental.
It's crazy. And this chick is loved by so many people that, like, if she does a tiny thing, people are looking so hard, like, and this is something that we'll discuss later, people are looking so hard to try and find a negative about her.
100%.
Like, she's just
because she's doing so well.
Yeah, like, so what if a plane, like, I'd bloody fly me private jet 15 minutes if I had one. Like,
if you need to get somewhere, and like, do you think she can step on a commercial airline?
No.
Have you seen the publicity she's getting? Even just we've got down here as well, her 3 biggest shows of her career. She played in Melbourne this week. 3 shows sold out at the MCG. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and there were still thousands and thousands of people who missed out. And that's 96,000 per night.
That must be...
Do the math. That's almost 300,000 people.
Yeah, it must be a new record, I think.
No, yes, in one weekend. Ed Sheeran had 108,000. And that was the most ever put into the MCG.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but massive. That's the 3 biggest shows of like she's ever played, and she did them 3 consecutive nights, all with the same amount of crowd. She's heard like they were talking about taking over, like Swifties taking over flights, Swiftie flights they called them. My sister who lives in Adelaide flew back home, and she was on a Swiftie flight. Like they had Taylor Swift playing over the loudspeakers for all the people that were coming over to watch this show. It's mental.
And there was cameras on everyone coming off the planes as well.
It was great. And it wasn't just from Adelaide. There were Swiftie flights from Perth, Sydney, Brisbane, Gold Coast. They were coming from everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know one of our teachers went to the Sydney show and the Melbourne show.
It's crazy. Like, there's another thing we've got down here. Trams and trains directly, like, exactly, they were made for Taylor Swift shows. They added in heaps more trams, heaps more trains just for this show. They extended the free tram zone in Melbourne for all the people getting to the MCG.
Yeah.
You know how mental that is? That's a big step. For a lot of events, like even like AFL, like big AFL games, they'll add in an extra train. They'll add in a couple more trams. But to extend the free tram zone,
it's crazy.
that is bonkers.
And I'd
This
like
is
to
government money we're talking about.
Yeah, I'd like to just like jump into like. Could you imagine what she thinks of that? Like we're proud to be sitting here and like have a bit of a platform for our podcast and everything, but like
That's
to be flying into a country and a city and to be like just altering everything in it is crazy.
It's mental. Like where she goes, just drags money around with her.
Yeah,
Like changing economies. People want her to come and play in their country or city because of the positive, like the positive effect she has on people's economy, because people go there and spend money. Like it's simple as that. We've got another thing down here. I was talking to a few of my friends about it that have gone there, like to show over the weekend, and how much of a life-changing experience it is for them, especially for young women. They are so inspired by her because when you walk in there, there's plenty of like female singer-songwriters out there.
Yeah.
Like this is just one example, but you walk in there and you see how an independent lady is selling out arenas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 100,000 people every night.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's like an artist. It's like, I don't know. There's so many ways you can put this, like in different aspects of life. It's like Ben and I going to watch fucking the inspired unemployed sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like just the people that are following the same paths but have absolutely taken it to an astronomical level. And fuck, I can only take my hat off to her.
Yeah.
Like
she's put down the stepping stones for other artists to be able to step on, sort of thing.
And especially just to feel, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of societies out there that still to this day women are oppressed. Like it's simple as that. There's no, like it still happens, and it happened a lot less in history, but it's like happened a lot more in history. Sorry, but it's still happening sometimes now, and the effect that she can have on those people to say no, that isn't okay. And yes, you can do this. Doesn't matter if just because you're a woman or just because you're a female or whatever. She is absolutely leading the pack for young women around the world right now. And she deserves all of the recognition that she's getting.
And how old is she these days?
I reckon 30, 32 maybe.
Like that's crazy.
1980. You know what? I know this. 1989, because that's one of her albums. And I don't even follow Taylor Swift, but I know this. This is how much of it. Do the maths. What's that? 11. Oh, fuck, she'd be like, what, 35?
Yeah, but like even that is correct. Like I swear she's been young and
the whole
like
time.
just paving the way.
Since I remember.
Yeah.
It's
forever.
Mental. And we talk about her very positively, which segues next to our positive mindset sort of thing. Now, if you've listened to any of our solo episodes before, mate, we will rub this in your face, how just important it is to be positive. But I'm taking a bit of a spin on this one, because this is what I did in my speech this morning to my school. For like our first assembly of the year, I spoke about the importance of being proud of who you are and your actions, and the act of embracement over embarrassment. Now, that's our 2 points. Ben and I could talk about this for fucking forever. Years. But how important is it to be proud of who you are and your actions? And embracement over embarrassment goes with that. Embrace who you are. If you think, if what you're doing is what you want to be doing, good on you. Unless you're obviously like killing people, this is obviously within like ethical standards.
As long as you're proud of it.
Exactly.
No, don't.
If you're doing the right things, be proud of who you are.
Yeah.
And if you're not proud of if you're looking back in your life and think, oh, I'm not doing things that I'm really like, that's not good, change it.
It's as simple as that. You find the steps. Like you could even go out for. You might see someone who you think is living the life that you would prefer to live, and you can go out for coffee with them and say like, what sort of steps are you taking to do this and to do that. But
if you're finding you're having a negative impact on people around you, try and be nicer.
Switch up.
If you're walking past someone and you see a hat and you like their hat, hey man, I like your hat.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You never know what other people are feeling, and you never know how someone else's day is going, or what someone might have been through that morning or that week before, or just what grief someone's going through. And a smile from a stranger can absolutely change your mindset.
Yeah.
I remember once the other day, I'll talk about this. I was walking to South Yarra. Like I was walking in South Yarra, and I was feeling pretty average. I was pretty tired. I just finished school in Melbourne at my Ches class, and I was pretty drained, and I just honestly wanted to be in bed. And I just wasn't really feeling it, I literally had Phoebe Bridgers playing in my AirPods, and I was just walking. And then I saw there was this girl walking with her dad. She would have only been about 4 or 5, and she was just wearing just like a bright pink princess outfit. And she was so happy. And I looked at her, and she just looked at me, and she just like smiled and started laughing. And I'm like, man, that's just made my day.
Yeah.
Like, it makes your day a whole lot better if someone else shows you some kindness and some warmth. Then maybe you feel like you should be able to feel that as well, you know?
Yeah. And it's also, it comes down to the way that you deal with things as well, like the way that you deal with, coming across someone that may have had a negative impact on your life and that.
Yep.
If you still feel shit walking past them or like looking at them or seeing them in public, then like maybe there is a way that you could walk past them and think, oh, well, like, I did have a positive time with them at some point.
Exactly.
And so switch up and like just think about that.
Don't be sad that it ended. Be grateful that it happened.
Yeah.
And another thing, yeah, exactly. Like another thing with like embracing it, like with us, we do the podcast. And this is our dream. Like we're striving, we're pushing for this, we're hustling for this.
Yeah.
And we get everyone gets hate. We get hate, but instead of just like backing down sort of thing, we embrace it.
Yeah.
Because this is who we are. It's like, oh yeah, a lot of people say like an insult we get a lot of the time. Oh yeah, gay podcast.
Yeah.
That's what people say. But like, we're from the country. It's a very common thing to say to people when you think something negatively about it. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Because this is me, and I'm embracing it. I'm not going to feel embarrassed that you've said that to me. I'm going to embrace that this is who I am. And like, yeah, if that's what you think of me, sweet. Off you go. Yeah. On your bike, mate. I don't need you in my life.
And it's all about the way you deal with it too, like embracement, with also like being able to recognise that there is probably what they say could be true, and there might be room for improvement, but like don't
take it to heart.
Yeah, if you don't think that it's what you need, then don't worry about it. Embrace it.
It's absolutely important to just be proud of who you are, and if you're not proud of who you are, if you can reflect on your life and you think, or even just your recent times, you think, no, I'm not really proud of what I've been doing, make the change. And plan. You can, like, for me, if I want to say I've got a dream, and my dream is to be an AFL player, right? My dream is to play in the AFL. You could do that still. Exactly.
You could get there.
But if my dream was to be in the AFL, and I don't know the path to get there, I'm not going to go and train soccer. I'm not going to go and play soccer for 3 years so I can get into the AFL. And listen to that, you'd be like, of course I'm not going to fucking play soccer. It's the wrong sport, dickhead. That's the same with anything, because just through just using your like basic human brain, the paths at which to get to a place. If I want to go to Ballarat, I'm not going to drive to Mansfield.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And that. It sounds stupid. So yeah, completely the wrong way. That's what I mean. You know the basic steps on how to get somewhere. So plan.
And it is never too early or late to plan to get there.
Exactly. If you want to, become a famous musician like Taylor Swift, put your songs out on TikTok.
Yeah.
Put them out. Hard. Yes, there might be a lot. You might have to travel 100 kilometers to get somewhere, but you can only start with the act of putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah,
it's those baby steps you got to focus on. You just got to keep on putting that one foot back in front of the other until you can reach the dreams.
Put the keys in the ignition.
Exactly. There you go. Put the keys in the ignition and drive your car off into the fucking sunset. All right. Yeah. Now I feel like I could still keep going on this for so long, but we could just keep going around in circles.
Fucking ages.
But I think it's probably time to end this episode.
Yeah.
For us. And I want to finish with a piece of advice of being proud of your identity. And it's basically just summarizing what we've said before. Embrace your identity. Like, be proud of who you actually are as a person. Because that is all that matters in life. As long as you're proud of who you are and you can embrace who you are as a person, then nothing else matters.
Yep. As long as you're happy with who you are, then, like, there's not war in the world.
Exactly right. You can be, like, people say, this is our way of doing it. We talked about before how people perceive success. I perceive success in happiness. If I'm happy in what I'm doing, then I am absolutely successful in life, and I am rich.
And my dad always says, passed down from his dad. His dad always used to say to him, "I don't care if you pick up porta potties and empty them for a living. As long as you're happy doing it, you'll never work a day in your life."
Embrace who you are and be proud of who you are. Ben, thank you for chatting to me on this solo episode. It was absolutely shit talking to you.
And this time I wouldn't say it was shit.
It wasn't shit talking. Actually, it wasn't shit talking. This was good talk. I'm pretty proud of us. This is we're standing on business here. I don't really know what that means yet. If someone can please tell me what standing on business means, leave it in the comments.
It means we stood on business.
It means we stood on business.
And so, you know, I'm gonna wrap this one up, but this was short, sharp, and sweet, and this was a bloody great episode. So you better give us some good feedback. And
thank you guys very much for listening.
I've never said this, but like, follow us on Spotify.
Follow us on Spotify.
Subscribe
follow us
on
on
YouTube.
Spotify. You would have heard before us. You know, it would have cut to us from about, I think it was 4 months ago when we were telling you to go and follow our socials. Follow on Spotify. We don't really mention that.
Follow on everything.
Follow on everything.
You know what? Like,
tell your grandma. Tell her to follow.
Some people will say I don't force follows, but no, follow us.
Yeah, follow us.
I'm kidding.
We deserve it.
If you want to.
Thank you all very much for listening to us. Ben, it was shit talking to you.
It wasn't, but toodaloo. Oh, what the fuck? Roll the outro music.